Hello everybody, my name is Memo, this is my channel FancyMemo, and I am excited for this video. I am excited because I am finally doing my third vinyl record update video. Of course, this being the third vinyl record collection video I have made. That means I've made 2 others. Go check them out. The first one is my first ever music related video on this channel, and it just recently hit 1,000 views, which I'm grateful for. Thank you very much. But yeah, we're doing the third installment of this series, and unfortunately this is gonna be the last installment for a while, because after this I will be done showing you guys my entire collection for now. That doesn't mean I'm gonna stop making vinyl record videos. I have bought some records recently that I will most likely unbox once I get them. I'll do like vinyl record tag videos, which are inspired by some of my YouTube buddies. But vinyl record collection videos like these I won't make for a while, not until I've grown this collection, and that's probably gonna take a while since I don't buy records that often. I'm a poor college student. I can't be paying every week for a new record. I need to start actually paying for tuition pretty soon, so that's gonna be fun. I'm excited for this video, and even though I won't be making these long vinyl record collection videos anytime soon, I will be making some more vinyl related videos in the future. So yeah, we have a fun batch here because I purposely made this batch for the hip-hop lovers out there. The first 2 albums I'm gonna talk about aren't really hip-hop, but the rest are beautiful hip-hop albums that a lot of people might consider classics. I consider most of these albums classics. In fact, except for the first album I'm going to talk about, these albums are like a 9 or a 10 out of 10 for me. In my opinion, these albums are good. So let's not waste any more time. Let's actually get into this and start talking about my vinyl record collection. Editing Memo here. I forgot to mention, please go check out my Instagram, where I'll do some vinyl record updates there and show off what I've been listening to, and my Twitter, where I tweet a lot about music. Check those out if you want. Now, it is tradition on my channel to always start off with some Gorillaz. This will probably be the last time I will be discussing Gorillaz albums, since by the end of this video I would have shown you guys all 6 of their studio albums on vinyl. Let's start off with The Fall. Very underrated album in my opinion. Here's the back. It is definitely not their best album, but it's a good album. Here's some artwork on the sleeves from places in the US, since this album was recorded during a tour in the US. Here's the back. The record itself isn't anything interesting, it's just standard black. That's why I didn't show it. Damon Albarn made this entire album during a tour on an iPad, which is very impressive. On this side, it not only shows you the credits and the track list, but it also shows you the applications used to create this album, the apps needed on the iPad, which is very cool and very impressive. Being able to create an entire album on an iPad is impressive, especially since, in my opinion, it's a good album. It is mostly instrumental. Feels like you're in space or in some kind of weird dimension. It's a really cool feeling. It's a nice, chill, laid-back album. It just makes you feel like you're out of this world. Again, not my favorite Gorillaz album. It's not as good as their classics, but I think it's a severely underrated album. Tracks that I would recommend: Boner to Arizona, Revolving Doors, Hillbilly Man, Detroit, Chi-Town, The Parish of Space Dust, Amarillo, and California in the Slipping of the Sun. And notice how a lot of these tracks are named after or related to cities and states from the US. I'm not entirely sure each song is based off of the place they were at that moment. Very cool, very impressive, very unique album. Not their best, but I love it like the rest. Alright, time to put it back here. Alright, now let's talk about a Gorillaz classic. We're talking about Plastic Beach. Chef's Kiss. Chef Kiss. Oh, this is beautiful. This is a beautiful album. Some of the Gorillaz' best material is off of this album. Here's the back, that's the track list, and some more artwork. And the Gorillaz are amazing because since they are a virtual band, they are cartoons. Their artwork on almost all of their vinyl record packaging is pretty stellar. Let's just show off the bifold here. Like, look at this. Look at this. This battle. Like, what? Jamie Hewitt is fantastic. He's a great artist. And we're not done here. Let's check out the sleeves. Every single sleeve is very beautiful, even though it's weird. It is weird. Don't get me wrong, but it's beautiful. The record themselves aren't anything interesting. Black. This one has a plane. I believe the other one has a ship. And on the other side it says Plastic Beach. There's nothing crazy on the actual record, but again, the sleeves though, the sleeves. Like, come on. The amount of work in these artworks is impressive. A lot of love and care in the packaging here. Just beautiful, beautiful art. Yeah, this album has some of Gorillaz' best work, debatably their best album. I always flip-flop on Plastic Beach and Demon Days. I really can't decide which one's my favorite. Some of my favorite songs from Gorillaz are off of this album. Debatably, some of my favorite songs of all time are off of this album. But again, it's so hard to choose which one is my favorite. The instrumentation is beautiful, lush, and I love the themes of like taking care of the environment. That's important. They talked about this like 10 years ago, and we still haven't learned. Like, the environment needs help. We need to like recycle and do our part. And the music videos to this album is great too. The lore and everything is fantastic. Beautiful, beautiful album. Songs I would recommend for all of these albums, please go check them all out if you haven't listened to any of them at all. If you just want to check out some tracks I would recommend for this album is Welcome to the World of Plastic Beach. Rhinestone Eyes is fantastic, so is White Flag, Stylo, Empire Ants. Oh my gosh, Empire Ants. Oh, that song is so beautiful. The beat switch, the little dragon feature, everything about that song is amazing. Glitter Freeze, On Melancholy Hill, classic. Even if you don't really know who Gorillaz are, you probably heard of that song before. Sweepstakes, Plastic Beach, Cloud of Unknowing. It's a beautiful album. Please check it out. Mwah. By the way, I will be stacking them for now, but I don't stack them when I store them. So if you're concerned, don't worry, I don't do that when I store them. Alright, that's it for non-hip-hop albums. Let's get into my hip-hop albums in my collection. Starting off with debatably the greatest rap album of all time. You know what I'm gonna bring up? To Pimp a Butterfly by Kendrick Lamar. This album is legendary. His magnum opus. Like, this is the definition of impactful music. That was the front. Here's the back. It's just the track list, and I'm just gonna assume it's his handwriting. It has a bifold as well. Some photos. It has a bunch of credits as well. The record itself is not crazy. It comes in a paper white sleeve, standard black, so I'm not gonna bother taking them out. When I say it's one of the best rap albums of all time, I'm not over exaggerating. I'm sure a lot of you guys would agree that this is probably the best rap album of all time. It's definitely my favorite rap album of the past decade. I might make a video expanding on my top 10 albums of the past decade, even though it's a bit too late, but yeah, this is definitely number one. I'm just gonna spoil that, and with good reason, because not only it's a fun listen, of course there's weird detours like For Free, that's weird. That caught me off guard my first listen. Musically, it is great. The jazzy instrumentation is very well done. There's points in this album where it sounds kind of futuristic. And the message, of course, I was in shock. I was amazed on how impressive the lyricism is. Just talking about the struggle being black in America, and that is very relevant to today, unfortunately. Like, we should have known by now as a country that people from different races are normal people. We shouldn't be afraid of them. We shouldn't just be shooting them and getting away with it if you're a cop. But unfortunately, this country hasn't learned. So that's why, again, unfortunately, the message off of this album is still relevant today. It was made like 5 years ago, and yet it's still relevant. Songs I would recommend for To Pimp a Butterfly, Wesley's Theory, of course, King Quinta, These Walls, You, Alright, Hood Politics, How Much a Dollar Cost, The Blacker the Berry, that's an amazing song, I, and Mortal Man. Mortal Man has a cool interview at the end with Tupac, which is very crazy because Tupac was already dead when this album was released, but it sounded so real, and again, that was very relevant to what's going on now. Again, beautiful album. I might talk more about it in the future, but yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite albums ever, I guess. So I'm gonna put you here. Mwah. Sorry about the construction noise as well, just bear with me please. Next album, let's just spoil the entire list, I guess, and bring out my second favorite album of the past decade, Atrocity Exhibition by Danny Brown. I am in love with this album and in love with Danny Brown because of this album. Like, what he raps about is so depressing. Here's the back, very wild. There's the track list, but it's hard to see because of the weird imagery. The sleeves have some art on them as well. They're a bit unsettling. Here's this side, got some credits and stuff. Here's the other sleeve. This is disturbing stuff, I know, but it does really represent the album pretty well. And the records themselves are black, so nothing too interesting there. But yeah, this album is so amazing. The stories that are told on this album is stuff that I will never relate to, yet it hurts me a lot to hear them coming from Danny Brown. He just sounds so broken in this album. He talks about his past, the struggles he had with substance abuse, how he went in a downward spiral. That's the title for the first track. He went down a downward spiral and just went through a whole mess. Like, his life was a mess. It's not a concept album, but like a lot of the songs here relate to his use of drugs. Like, he'll be talking about how it has affected him a lot. He knows he needs help, yet he doesn't want the help because he feels like that's what weak people do, even though he is weak at that moment. Just very tragic stuff off of this album. The instrumentals are wild too. Like, this is experimental music at its finest. It's kind of terrifying, very intense, but it matches well with the themes of this album very well. So that's why I love this album a lot. Plus, it has some bangers as well. Like, really though, what a posse cut. Earl Sweatshirt kills it with his feature. I love his feature off of that track. But yeah, there's a bunch of great tracks off of this album. I would recommend Downward Spiral, Rolling Stone, Really Though, of course, Ain't It Funny, Gold Dust, White Lines, Dance in the Water, When It Rain, and Hell For It. Great album. Totally recommend it. It's very off-putting. It doesn't sound pleasant. It's not supposed to sound pleasant, but it's definitely one of my favorite albums of the past decade. Next album, let's talk about a classic right here. Foreshadowing. Boom! Enter the Wu-TANG 36 Chambers by Wu-TANG Clan. Classic album right here. Front, back, nothing interesting with the record itself, so I'm not gonna pull it out. What can I say that hasn't been said already? Like, this is great hip-hop, great rap. Wu-TANG is one of the greatest rap groups of all time. One of the greatest artists that came out of New York. A lot of hard-hitting gangsta rap. They're violent. They don't care about you. They will hurt you if you cross them the wrong way. This is just stellar music. I love this album a lot. Like, a lot. I don't have a lot to say about this album, but please do check it out. The songs I would recommend: Bring the Ruckus, the second song off of the album. Protect Your Neck, of course. Wu-TANG Clan, Ain't Nothing to Fuck With. Cream, Method Man, Tears. Great album. Wow. Now let's talk about a weird one over here. I love this album a lot, and it's from JPEGMAFIA, someone who I cover a lot on this channel. And this album is called All My Heroes Are Cornballs. Here's the cover art, which is different from the actual cover art. I like the other album cover art better, but this is still pretty cool. That was the front. Here's the back. The imagery is really cool. The sleeves has the lyrics on this album, and they both do. These bullets coming at you. Take these bullets for me, that's my grimy waifu. The pedal to metal, I'm a Nicki Minaj at 1 deep, baby, can't top it. 5'9" with the stick, I look like Big Bobby. I keep a shotty, can't feel my face, oh god. SMH, no ASMR. Ha! Peggy is one of the most unique artists out there right now. He is an experimental hip-hop pioneer. His album Veteran is a classic in my eyes. I don't care if I'm a stan, I will say it anyways. His Veteran is a classic to me, and All My Heroes Are Cornballs is just as good. A silly name, but this album is just as good for different reasons. Veteran is a lot more hard-hitting and a lot more intense, a lot scarier, while this is a lot more melodic, a lot of pop influences as well, as weird as that sounds. He did cover a TLC song off of this album. Scrub is a guy that thinks he's fly and also known as a buster. What I like from Peggy is even though he's intense and angry and very at your throat, he can be feminine at times too. Like, he doesn't care about those social norms. He just does whatever. He doesn't care about anybody, and I like that a lot. This album is great. I totally recommend it, especially if you want to get into experimental hip-hop. This is probably one of the more accessible experimental hip-hop albums you can check out. It has some weird track titles on here, and I'm just gonna read some of my favorite songs off of this album, and you'll clearly realize how weird Peggy is and the album is. Like the first track, which is one of my favorites, Jesus Forgive Me, I Am a Thought. We have Beta Male Strategies, Grimy Waifu, PTSD, All My Heroes Are Cornballs, Life's Hard, Here's a Song About Surreal, Thought Tactics, Free the Frail, amazing song right there, Post Verified Lifestyle, Dot's Freestyle Remix, and the last track is just a sad emoji. On streaming services, the last track is called Poppy, I Missed You. Amazing album. Please give Peggy some love. He deserves it. He's amazing. Alright, next album I've got here. Freddie Gibbs and Madlib, Piñata. This album is amazing. Here's the front, here's the back. Other than the nice little colorway zebra print, the record itself is nothing amazing, but you know what is amazing? This album, one of the best gangsta rap albums I've listened to. This is definitely my favorite Freddie Gibbs album. You know, he's just talking about what he usually does, drug dealing, a lot of coke talk, drug talk, stuff that I will never relate to, but it's just interesting hearing stories from people who have lived those lives, seeing how he's now successful and just killing it in the music industry is great to see. I really like that. And the beats on this thing, you know, Madlib is producing this album, so of course they're amazing. Madlib is probably the GOAT producer. It's very old school feeling, soulful, weird, kind of experimental, you know, that's just Madlib's shtick. He kills it on the instrumentals. He always does. He's amazing. So the combination of great beats and great rapping from Freddie Gibbs makes a great album. This is definitely one of the best rap albums from the past decade. Songs I would recommend: Scarface, Deeper, High, Bomb, Shitsville, Thuggin', Uno, Robes, Lakers, Knicks too. And Piñata, a giant posse cut for the last track on the album. Great album, great album. Gotta put that here. Let's just continue the Madlib love by bringing up one of the greatest rap albums of all time. Definitely probably the greatest underground rap album of all time. You know what I'm talking about? Madvillainy, MF Doom, Madlib, Madvillain. This is amazing. This is such a great album. That's the front, here's the back. Amazing work on this album. I'm not gonna take up the record itself since it is plain Saint or Black. The first time I listened to this album, I fell in love. MF Doom is definitely one of the best rappers of all time on a technical standpoint, on a lyrical standpoint. He's creative, he talks in tongue twisters, he can be funny as well. His voice is so unique, it's so villain-like. You know, his persona is basically a villain based off of a comic book villain. This album is about villain-like stuff and combining his crazy rap flows, basically infinite rap flow. It seems like he doesn't breathe at all in this album. Combining that with Madlib's beat is a match made in heaven. I love this album a lot. I can't just pick one song off of this album and tell you to listen to it. I'll try to give you recommendations off of this album, but these are one of the albums I feel like you should listen to front to back. That's where it's like the most satisfying experience you can get out of this album. It just flows very nicely. You'll hardly notice like a song change. Songs I would recommend: Accordion, Meat Grinder, Bistro, Raid, American Most Blunted, Curls, Money Folder, Figaro, Fancy Clown, All Caps, and Rhinestone Cowboys. Totally recommend this album. Please check it out if you haven't already. This is a classic. If you haven't listened to it, please do. Mwah. Last album on the list. I left the best for last. Not really talking about the album being the best out of the group, but it has the best packaging. And I'm talking about My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy by Kanye West. Let's just show off the album packaging first before I talk about the music. Here's the back. Basically, in a very weird and crazy and elegant way of saying the track list right there. It's a trifold. It comes with 3 records. How do I show this? Let me open up the trifold all the way. Oh, this is gonna be difficult to show. I didn't think this through. I don't want to hurt my babies. Hopefully I can get all in frame. I think, yes, I did it. Yes, I did it. So this big thing just says his name. It just says Kanye West in the most Kanye West fashion you can think of. What's cool about the packaging here? Let me just take out a record. The record itself has some nice photos on them, but it's standard black, so not too interesting there. The interesting part is the packaging, because this part right here is replaceable. See, let me take out the little poster thing. I'm just gonna call it a poster. Here it is. I just took it out, and let's see what pops up instead. There's, I believe, like 4 or 5 of them, different variations of the album artwork. So there's the Kanye head being stabbed. Here's the censored version of this artwork that you might have seen before. So apparently, according to this one video I watched, Kanye wanted to make the most offensive looking album cover, even though his record label didn't want him to. Because of that, he had to make multiple versions of the cover art, so it can be seen, can be purchased. Here's another version. So that's why there's so many different variations of the album cover. I believe this last one is the last one. Pretty cool in my opinion. This album also has a poster. One side has that ballerina girl, the other side has a picture of him with a bunch of credits, I believe. So if you haven't figured out already, Kanye is my favorite artist of all time. I just love his work so much, and I love this album a lot. Is it my favorite? No, I still don't own my favorite Kanye album on vinyl. I will eventually, and I will make a video talking about my controversial opinions on his albums, what I believe is his best album A lot of people might not like me for my opinions on Kanye's album. He's my favorite artist, but I have weird opinions, I guess, because I am sure a lot of people would disagree with it. But yeah, this album is clearly amazing. It is definitely one of my favorite Kanye albums. I can totally agree with people when they say this is like his magnum opus, because it is definitely the grandest album he's ever done. Great instrumentals. There are songs that I do not like, but there are a lot of my favorites off of this album. Songs I would recommend: Dark Fantasy, Power, All of the Lights, So Appalled, Devil in a New Dress, Runaway. Oh, I love Runaway so much. Lost in the World, just to name a few. It's definitely a classic. A lot of people have listened to this album before, or at least have heard some of the singles, and the singles here are amazing too. It's not like the deep cuts are what carries the album. The singles as well, Power, All the Lights, they're great as well. They're beautiful tracks. It's a beautiful album from a man a lot of people hate, but you can't deny his talent. He is definitely one of the greatest artists of all time. Yeah, amazing album. I am glad to have it on vinyl, especially because the packaging is so cool. And yeah, that's the last album I will show in detail. But I will show off this last album, Kenny Beats Denzel Curry with Unlocked. Amazing album. I did a unboxing for this album, so you can check that video out if you'd like. That's where I showed off what's in the packaging there. I'm not going to do analysis. I already have a video dedicating to this album. Check that out, and check out this album as well. It's great. So yeah, that is my vinyl record collection. Thank you guys for watching my third installment and my last installment for a while, but that doesn't mean vinyl record collection videos will be totally gone from this channel. I will be making some more in the future. I hope you liked this video. I love making these videos a lot. I like showing off my collection. I had a lot of fun here, so thank you guys for checking out this video. I will link where you can purchase these records down below, at least if I can find where you can buy them easily. I think the only one that might have some trouble is the Denzel Curry one, but that's because that's limited edition, but you could get the standard version. But yeah, I had a lot of fun here today, guys. Thank you guys for watching. I will try to make longer form videos as much as I can. The track reacts have kind of overtook my channel for a bit, so I want to focus more on larger videos like this, do more reviews, album reactions, discussion videos, stuff like that, vinyl record related videos as well. So if you like that, subscribe if that sounds interesting. I don't have anything else to say, so we're done here. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, like the video. That makes sense, right? Comment down below, what albums do you have in your collection? What albums do I have that you want? If you like music related content, please subscribe, since that is what I do here. And yeah, I'm done here, so thank you guys for watching. I love you guys. Goodbye.